We are back home after living in Paris for 2 months. And one of the most requested videos that we've gotten from you guys is for us to just go over a full list of our Paris favorites. Where to stay in Paris, things to do, places to see, museums to visit, some of our favorite food spots, cafes, thrift shops, and even some hidden gems. For every activity that we mention in this video that requires advanced booking or reservations, we're going to link that below.
We also wanted to say a little disclaimer that this is just a list based on 2 Americans that lived in Paris for just 2 months.
Yeah, we are not experts. This is going to be a list that is based on our experience there.
And our favorites that we found.
Exactly. So let's start out with where you should stay when you visit Paris. During our 2 months living there, the first month we stayed in the 11th arrondissement. That's how they say neighborhood or area. There's 20 arrondissements, so there's a lot to choose from. And I believe they all have very special qualities to them and reasons why you could say this is the best one to stay in or not.
I think everybody's opinion varies.
Yeah, exactly. But ours is right. Yeah. No, so the first month we stayed in the 11th, and this one was very low-key, very local. We felt removed from the touristy parts. It didn't feel like there was a lot of the major things that in your visit you'd probably be going to see. So that's one con, is you're like removed from that, but at the same time
it's also a plus because you're not in the thick of it. Things are more quiet, and if you like that, it's definitely a place to be.
The second month we stayed in the 4th arrondissement, and this is the one that we would recommend for everybody.
It was perfectly like smack dab in the middle of things.
I mean, most days when we lived there, we walked. We didn't even need to take the metro to go to most things. They really just have the heaviest concentration of like cool spots to eat, cool cafes.
It's like the hipster spot.
It just had so much to do. We didn't feel like we even needed to leave this area most days, you know?
The next thing we want to talk about is the places that you need to see. We're not going to talk about the most obvious ones.
Yeah, again, this is our personal favorites. Obviously, you should go see the Eiffel Tower and, you know, the Tuileries Garden, the major things that you're thinking about.
First of all, our favorite is Luxembourg Gardens.
Yeah.
Oh, just so beautiful.
It's like a fantasy land, honestly. They had like this water fountain in the middle where the kids would rent sailboats and put them in there and
like
race them and stuff, and you just hear like kids laughing. Parents clearly bring their kids here to hang out. But then there's also like the lawn areas where there's a bunch of cool people, and then there's like tennis courts and all these other athletic things to do. Next thing that we definitely want to mention is the Opera House. This place is just absurd. It's full of like chandeliers, paintings all over the roof.
There's one room that absolutely took both of our breaths away. When we walked into it for the first time, we were like, what?
Yeah, and obviously you can catch an actual opera show there, but we haven't personally done that. We just will literally go just to like see it. Next up, we want to talk about the Sacre Coeur.
This was probably Juan's favorite.
This is my absolute favorite. Personally, I would go there every night if I could. It's this really beautiful basilica, and there's like a lawn that everybody hangs out on, and you just get this killer view of the city. I would definitely recommend you go there on sunset. Beautiful, breathtaking.
The next thing that is a must-see is Shakespeare and Company, which is probably the most famous bookstore ever.
It's one of the most famous bookstores in the world. They have this cool cafe next door. We had amazing key lime pie there, great coffee. You can also just read there. And finally, we want to recommend something that sounds obvious, but we didn't actually do this until the day before we left. And that is to go not only to see the Arc de Triomphe, but what a lot of people don't know is that for $12 or $13 per person, you can get tickets to go to the top of the Arc and see the most amazing view of the city. You're literally like in the center of the city, and you can see all around you. But heads up, once again, this is like a very physically demanding activity.
You have to go up a bunch of stairs. There's no elevator.
It's actually hard. We were out of breath many times going up there. It was a full leg workout.
So next up, we're going to talk about things to do,
Yes.
which is different than things to see.
Yeah, we had to break all of these sections up somehow.
Starting with our absolute favorite thing to do in Paris, which is to go onto Rue Claire. It's a street.
It's the best.
Yeah, it has everything. It has chocolate, it has
Croissants,
it has
wine,
fruit, it has
fruit.
Everything. You can get blankets for a picnic.
This is like a combo activity. We are heavily recommending that you do this one morning. Go there, buy everything you need for the picnic, walk 10 minutes, go to the Eiffel Tower, set up your full picnic, and just enjoy. Next thing we want to talk about is something that our audience actually recommended to us when they planned our day for a day, which was a really fun vlog that we did. But it's to rent bikes and just ride around the city with no specific destination.
Yeah, this was so fun.
You ride around. I mean, everywhere you turn in Paris is something breathtaking.
Yeah.
So you get to see all these things you wouldn't really just go to. You could ride aimlessly for like hours and never get tired of this city.
So beautiful.
Which leads us to the next thing, which is the Seine River cruises. You can choose a lot of different options, but we heavily recommend a specific one that we're going to link below, and you have to do it at night. I just think Paris is always better at night.
Yeah, it's called the City of Lights for a reason.
Is it called the City of Lights? Okay, don't quote me on that, quote her on that. But, you know, the whole city lights up.
Yeah.
You see so many things in this one activity.
Yeah.
The way that the one we recommend works, it takes about an hour, the entire ride. So you will be facing and seeing the Eiffel Tower glitter as you get back.
The next thing that you have to do is go to the Latin Quarter.
Yes. And the Latin Quarter is specifically known for just having really cool nightlife. It was a really cool just vibe to the area. We were walking around.
Lots of good restaurants.
We had an amazing Italian restaurant. And it's right along the Seine, so, you know, you just go there, go to a few bars, maybe have a bite to eat, walk along the Seine at night. It's beautiful.
Another thing that we loved to do was a market called Marqués de Infants Rouge.
I believe it's the oldest market in Paris.
Yes, it is.
It's just this amazing outdoor market with tons of food to choose from. I mean, so many things we wanted to try.
We had the best Moroccan food.
Yeah, that's what we
So
want to
good.
specifically recommend. Incredible.
Yeah.
And you have to get the Moroccan tea.
Yes.
Remember that?
The green tea was so good.
Oh,
Another thing you have to do is do a wine and cheese like taste
Tasting.
testing. Yeah. So good. I
Yeah.
mean, the best wine, the best cheese is in France, so why not?
oh, I see what you did there. I like that.
We actually did this on my birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did this for her on her
Yeah.
birthday, and it just brought to light like how deep the wine and cheese pairing situation
Yeah.
goes
It made
in
me
Paris.
like wine, which I never really
Before,
liked.
she literally didn't enjoy wine. It's so cool how seriously they
Yeah.
take that and that part of their culture. So one of the things Paris is obviously known for is the art, and it's got amazing museums that you can go check out. In 2 months of living in Paris, we could not possibly have covered everything. My personal favorite of all of them, more than the Louvre, more than the Orsay, is Musée Rodin. Everything about it is magical. You start off and it's outside in the gardens.
So beautiful.
You see all these amazing sculptures that he made, and the gardens itself are really well tended and beautiful. And then on the inside,
It's like a mansion filled with sculptures and
Yeah.
paintings. My favorite is Léongerie, Musée Léongerie. This is where Monet's water lilies are.
Rhylan is super into art and art history. So she specifically was really in love with this place. Me, as a more casual fan and enjoyer of art, it didn't hit me as hard because I didn't understand until afterwards what she was explaining to me. It is very special. If you are an art history fan or you're a Monet fan, this is like a must-see. Next up is our favorite of any travel experience that we have, which is the places to eat. And we're going to start off with our absolute favorite, one of our favorite meals of all time.
Yeah.
The steak frites at Le Relais de l'Entrecôte. You get sat down, somebody approaches you, asks you how you like your steak cooked. They write it down on the table, and then they bring you this amazing dish called steak frites. So
Yeah.
it's like French fries with this steak at the temperature that you told them you like it at. After you finish the first serving, they will bring a second serving of the steak frites out.
The next spot we're going to recommend is a crepe place called Braise Cafe.
Yeah.
We had the best crepes we've ever had.
We definitely returned to this spot about 4 or 5 times.
5 times.
One thing I specifically want to say is don't be scared of the savory crepes.
Yeah.
Originally we went there, we wanted to get the usual, Nutella, strawberry type crepe, but the people there were like, hey, we recommend, this type of crepe or whatever, and it had like an egg in it and stuff, and we're like, what? It was a little bit different, but by the end, that was all we would order. We would order like 2 of those each. Next up is Lulu Montmartre, but this spot is a really intimate, small dining area, beautiful, and the menu is something that constantly changes. It's arranged in a way that it's meant to share.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's
order
small plates.
Small plates, exactly. So for us too, we would order like 6 small plates and just try a lot of different things.
The next one is one of my favorites. It has to be one of my favorites. It's called Pink Mama. It's so good. It's an Italian place.
We had the truffle pasta.
Yes.
The black truffle pasta you need to have. And what was that pizza?
And one of the best pizzas I've ever had. It had goat cheese, honey walnuts.
You have to make a reservation or show up like literally an hour before they open. We had to show up an hour before they open to get in because it's always booked weeks in advance.
Yeah.
The final place we want to recommend for eating is La Felicita. This is like a food hall. The pasta was incredible.
So good.
And there's like live music, there's a DJ, there's like photo booths.
And bars. And
an amazing bar with this crazy light fixture
it's really,
in the middle.
really fun, and the energy is very like...
A lot of young people go to like hang out and party there. But also the food legitimately is really good.
Super good. Another thing about Paris is the endless cafes and bakeries that they have all around the city. Our favorite is called Du Pain
et Ideas.
Yeah. It's an amazing bakery.
Yeah,
with,
specifically for the baked goods. Get the pistachio and chocolate escargot ones. I mean, so good. Next is one that not a lot of people talk about or know of. It's one that we actually had right next to us when we stayed in the 11th. It's called Café Moco. We recommend you do the brunch menu, or they have a semaine menu, which is in the week. In the brunch menu, you get 1 hot drink, 1 cold drink, an entree, and a dessert.
The cookies are so good. They have the best chocolate chip cookie
I've
ever had.
Any dessert there, get the chocolate chip cookies.
Or the chocolate cake. Another cafe that we loved was called Cozy. This one's definitely more popular.
It's also right next to Rue Claire.
Yeah.
So we recommend start the day that you go to Rue Claire, get breakfast at Cozy, eat there, go right next door, get your stuff for a little picnic, and then walk over to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it's all pretty close together. It's all on the 7th.
That's like a perfect morning in our book. Next up is Carrette Cafe. We loved the brunch. They have a brunch menu there too. The eggs there, that's what really stuck with me.
And their hot chocolate is supposed to be amazing.
And then finally, obviously, Lauderay. We have to throw it in there. We went there so often.
It's a must.
For the macaroons.
Yeah.
There is a cafe there that you can like sit there and have coffee and have a meal. But we would just go in there, go to go line, order
Get, like,
our
a
macaroons.
box of 12 macaroons.
Don't leave Paris without trying Lauderay macaroons. It's obvious. You have to do it. So one of our favorite things to do when we travel anywhere is to go thrift shopping. And we even did a full video, a thrift with us video in Paris, which we do recommend that you check out if you are interested in the thrift scene. But we wanted to really quickly point out our favorite thrift shops from when we did all that. Starting with Hippie Market, which... There's multiple locations of this one. We loved this one. It was full. It actually had a very strong guys section.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these places will have this amazing women's section, but then they're like really lacking in the men's section. And I just love how in Hippie Market, they arrange everything even like by color.
Yeah.
And just,
so nice.
It's so well organized and there's so much. I found like so many of my sweater vests. A lot of people ask me where I get the sweater vests that I wear all the time from. I got so many of them from there.
My personal favorite was Super Vintage, which was a lot smaller. It's super nice. If you have ADHD and it's hard for you to be overwhelmed by all the clothes and all the colors and things, it's really nice. Like
Yeah.
smaller stores are better for me because it's just easier for me to find things and take my time.
Yeah,
so
she loves the smaller thrift shops.
yeah, I don't get so overwhelmed. So I definitely recommend Super Vintage.
Speaking of overwhelming, the next one I want to recommend is Kilo Shop.
Yeah.
This one is huge.
Yeah. I couldn't find anything there. I was like, this is too overwhelming.
Yeah, she was like lost in it. But basically, you pay for everything in there by weight. And there's different categories.
Yeah.
And they sticker each item with the different like color of sticker.
For example, like denim will be a different color than t-shirts, and t-shirts are going to be much cheaper than the denim is.
Yeah, but you will weigh it, and then if yours is like the red sticker, it'll be like, okay, 20 euros per kilo.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a Kilo Shop. And finally, we want to talk about some of the hidden gems during our time there that are like lesser known places.
Yeah.
But if you have the time, you should definitely check them out. They're
Yeah.
like special to us. First thing I want to talk about is this picnic spot that you absolutely must go to. It was one of our favorite things that we did. Basically, it's at like the point of this island. It's like got these trees that hang over and stuff, and you can just sit right there, set up and have a
perched
picnic.
up, and the Seine is right beneath you.
Yeah, literally people were swimming in the Seine,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
do that, but we were just sitting right on the edge with our legs right above the water, looking at the bridges, looking at the different boats passing on the Seine. There's people playing music. It was this perfect romantic picnic that we had there.
The next hidden gem is Candelaria, which is actually a bar, but it's
like a
actually a
speakeasy.
speakeasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the front of it is like a Mexican taco shop,
Oh my gosh.
and they have the best tacos. Like,
The best tacos.
so good.
And it's in Paris, which you're
Yeah.
like, Paris is not known for tacos. But then you just walk right there to this door and you push it in, and there's a whole bar in there to
Yeah.
enjoy as well.
The bar is beautiful. Drinks were awesome.
Yeah. And finally, we want to talk about the outdoor cinema that they have at La Villette. And we got a pizza from this Italian spot set up outside. Beautiful, amazing, like big screen. They play different movies every day during the summer. It's from July 20th to August 21st that this is going on. So this is a seasonal thing. But if you're there during that time, oh my gosh, we loved this night.
It was so much fun.
One of our favorite nights.
Yeah. So that does it for our personal Paris favorites.
Yes, we hope that this provided tons of value
Yeah.
to you guys. If it did and you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give us a like so that it can spread to more people. And comment below if you think we missed anything on our list that you would like to recommend for anyone else watching. Besides that, if you'd like to see any of the things that we just recommended in action, we would definitely recommend that you check out this video where we show you what we would do if we only had one day in Paris.